My name is Louis Fineberg. I'm here representing the city of Trinidad. I am their planning director. Well, I always like to tell the story about how I found Trinidad. I turned left at Puebla, exactly. I first heard about Trinidad in a Woody Guthrie song about the Ludlow Massacre. So I knew it existed. And when I saw the job posting for the city, I kind of looked at it and I thought, is that the same Trinidad? And then I looked on a map and I realized, yeah, it's that is in fact the same Trinidad. I love the region of the state. It's just steeped in so much history, so much of mining history and workers' history and unions, Mother Jones. It's an area that's fascinating from that standpoint and very underpopulated, which is another thing I love about Trinidad. You're out there. I remember once flying back from the East Coast to Trinidad. I transferred in Houston. I'm from New Jersey, so I flew back from visiting my mother. And the plane flew over Trinidad and then banked and headed up the Front Range to Colorado Springs, where I was flying in. And from that vantage point, you can really see that there's really nothing around it. And that's what I love about it. It's very aptly named. It's kind of like an island. I don't know of many other places in the country that are this sparsely populated, and I believe that we are in the category under rural. I believe it's called pioneer or something like that. But it's great. It's a great community, and from a planning standpoint, it's a fascinating place. It's a city that currently has just under 9,000 people, and it was a city that was built for many more than that. I've seen varying figures, but I've seen them as high as 30,000. So Trinidad suffers in many respects from a mini Detroit syndrome. You've got a lot of vacant buildings. You don't have the population to support the infrastructure. And I also kind of liken being a planner in Trinidad to kind of being a MASH unit surgeon. It's meatball surgery. You've got all of these, it's triage is essentially what it is. You have buildings falling down around you, and how do you prioritize it? How do you, knowing in the back of your mind you probably can't save them all, how do you move forward? And I would hate to lose any of them. Already when I look at photographs of Trinidad and you see the pictures of the buildings that used to be on some of the vacant lots, it's sad. I mean, they're just amazing structures. And it's very much a cultural thing in America. I mean, we don't really care, it seems, as a society when our historical buildings fall down. It's almost as if they've lived their life and they're not useful anymore and let them go. And when I talk to some of our residents in Trinidad who are not from here, from Europe and other places, they're amazed at that. The idea of letting one of your key historic buildings fall down in Germany or France, say, is it's crazy. I suppose you can have it bombed into oblivion by British Air Force or something, but to let it fall down from neglect is just something that's not done. And when I look at our key intersection, our Commercial and Main Street intersection, we have two buildings that are in desperate need of renovation, or they will fall down. But although it's a monumental task, I feel like we're mobilizing the critical mass that's needed in order to save a lot of these structures. And I presented here at the conference today. But like I said, I find any funding source is a possibility here. Although in the end, it's got to be private investment in Trinidad. There isn't enough public investment in the world. It's been a great experience so far. I'm meeting with a lot of other industry professionals and colleagues, and it's always good to share stories and figure out where we may be able to improve on our effort down in Trinidad. We have an immense project in front of us in Trinidad. We have we need a lot of funding. We have a lot of infrastructure development to do, And brownfields funding can play a very big role in that type of redevelopment. We have a lot of older buildings that need some remediation. We have a lot of former industrial sites that need remediation, and it's good. I've gathered a lot of information while I've been here. Another thing that I just would like to note, I know I'm being filmed, so I'm going to be careful how I say this. Although I look at brownfield funding as a tool that we can utilize, the idea of brownfields to me is a little disturbing. The idea of having this funding source out there that's dedicated to clean up toxic sites and contaminated sites. I believe that industry should clean up after itself. And the idea that there can be some private entity that comes in and pollutes the environment so that they can have greater profit. And that's what it translates into. Cleaning up after themselves would mean less profit for them. I find that idea very disturbing. And I think going forward in the years to come, if we can do away with these with brownfields, or the idea that the public has to clean up after private investors, I think the country and the world will be a better place.